And welcome to the Paper Thing, episode 6 of season 6. It's 6 of 6. Today's show, it's a 4-paper show. We've got the Times, the Telegraph, the Daily Mail and the Sun. A truly accursed assortment of papers, and I'm here to navigate our way through them. So we'll be starting with the Sun, moving on to the Telegraph, then to the Times, and finally to the Daily Mail. Let's see what is occurring in this world of cursed events and cursed characters. I am, of course, the Broken Bottle Boy. You can follow me on Twitter, at Broken Bottle Boy. And in the room, present yet not present, is person in the room. Okay, so we're going to start with the Sun, which has gone with a... good afternoon to the Burnzoid, by the way, and good afternoon to you, Mark Gnosis. Hello, how are you doing? Starting with the Sun, front page of the Sun. Dom, PM lied on number 10 party. Yes, Dominic Cummings, not the most reliable witness, and yet I believe him in this case. G'day to you, Gonzo Socialism. Mark Gnosis, Cuddly Black Panther, yeah. Andrew, 6 in a bed. That's him and 5 toys when the Duke sleeps at Buckingham Palace. His demands include a teddy holding a heart, a teddy with a necklace, a cuddly Black Panther, a squishy grey hippo, and another hippo on a green blanket. Yeah. That's a very, very normal thing for a man in his 60s to want, and you'd be just cynical to suggest otherwise. It's said that the Duke would scream and shout if they were not in order at Buckingham Palace, and an ex-royal cop tells BBC, ITV show, that Ghislaine Maxwell might have been his ex-girlfriend. Inside the paper, I warn Boris of booze bash, says Cummings. I think that there are emails to prove that. On page 3, Lucy Donlan, who was on Love Island, is wearing underwear for some reason. Also on page 3, Britain's Got Talent exclusive. Cross at size flags gaff. Walliams blast St George mix-up. Simon Cowell was ridiculed by David Walliams when he failed to recognise the English flag at BGT auditions. Well, that's it. Simon Cowell finally cancelled. Yet, woman wears clothes. Hey, Chronotherm. Exactly, Gonzo Socialism. Woman wears clothes. Aris is probably the most normal thing about him. Is this him angling for a Michael Jackson never grew up defence? Possibly. Mark Gnosis, you know if Prince Andrew had been born 30 years earlier, he'd been locked in a sanatorium for life and never acknowledged. Right, so more on this Andrew thing. Andrew insists 5 toys laid on bed. Staff faced fury if they got it wrong. Extraordinary insight into Prince's life is how the Sun... is what the Sun claims. I don't think it's that extraordinary. I think we sort of knew this is kind of what he's like. There's been a bird flu cull of Queen Swans on the Thames. For some reason they're connecting that to Prince Andrew. Did they send him out to do it? Give it 2 weeks until prosecuting Prince Andrew is ableist. On page 7, Adele's £500,000 a night in Vegas. Adele will earn £500,000 a show from Friday, making her one of the highest paid female stars in the history of Las Vegas residencies. Tickets for weekends with Adele at Caesars Palace's Coliseum range from £700 to £9,000 plus. Peter Pan Complex should be the name of his cell, says Gonzo Socialism. The Sun, of course, is delighted about Nadine Dorries and the BBC. It says, Nadine pops BBC's bubble on funding. Culture, sex, elitism drive. Remember, this is the woman who, just yesterday in the House of Commons, was surprised, said she's surprised to discover that lots of people watch YouTube. So there you go. Just wait till she finds out about Twitch. Hey, Slanker Meyer, how are you doing? Culture Minister Nadine Dorries. I know, that is the world we live in. That is the world we live in. Do I hear Australian, says Dan Jones? Yeah, funny sort of echoing Australian voice behind that. We were doing so well, the encoded wasn't overloaded, and now it is overloaded itself. Right. On pages 8 and 9, end of UK's pandemic is in sight, say experts. Going, Omicron is the headline. I just feel suspicious about these claims. She's one of those weird Tory MPs who doesn't come from money, says the Burnzoid. That's true. She's also one of the stupidest people in Parliament. which is saying something. Lose the booze. The number of people drinking dangerous amounts of alcohol has rocketed by 3.7 million in lockdown.
Hit me!
On page 11, Rihanna is apparently now the world's richest pop star. She's a billionaire on the back of her makeup and underwear ranges. C122, H122. Culture Minister has eaten a kangaroo-ass culture. As she is from Liverpool. The Research Arena petition to start calling Andrew his royal lowness. Yeah, fine. Slinker is going to see venues for her first UK exhibition 2 years later. That's fantastic news. W's in the chat for Slinker. Chronotherm, I think I prefer the Tories' upper-class sociopaths because they're weird in a fun way. Also on page 11, Del Old Boy. David Jason wants to play Del Boy one more time. Age 81. He just needs someone to write a script. So there you go. If you want to write a new Only Fools and Horses, get on it. The Burnzoid. A Scouse working class origin Tory. She should be put in a museum. A museum is one suggestion, yes. Clemmy Moody says, poor auntie. She's lost all touch with the modern world. This is someone writing in The Sun, accusing someone else of having lost touch with the modern world. The Sun that writes all of its headlines as if they are... sent through a time tunnel from 1975. Use of weapons. Special hello to the curtain in the room, preventing the evil sun from getting in. Yep. Kudos to whoever came up with the meme of what Friends would look like if they were cast today. It's really stupid. It's a face-tune thing. Pages 14 and 15. Bitter war of words over tell-all book by Star's sibling. Britney speared by her baby sis. This story's moved on since they did this paper. Outwith says Del and Rodney have to hoodwink Uncle Albert into getting a vaccine with hilarious consequences. Kinu92, fuck the Sun and fuck the BBC. Simpsons monkey fight.jpg. Mark Canosis, not everyone from Liverpool is Scouse. She's spiritually Cheshire. Yeah, fair deuce. On page 17, Wolf Moon Rising. An early riser is silhouetted against a wolf moon, the first full moon of the new year. The snap from West London's Richmond Park in the early hours among several stunners taken across the country. I mean, they're fine. Sonic boom plot to stop dinghies. More demented stuff from the Priti Patel policy cabinet. Desperate Downing Street policy chiefs have explored using sonic weapons to repel small boats in the channel. It won't happen, but it is the kind of thinking that comes from a truly fascist mind. NHS blow cash on pen pushers. Hiring more pen-pushing NHS managers fails to improve hospital performance, a study shows. There are some 35,000 managers in the health service and their value has long been a source of fierce debate. Now researchers say they do not necessarily provide better care. Do not necessarily... How do they think a system like the NHS runs? Managers are necessary. Fuck it. This stuff is like... This is studied by the LSE, looked at 129 major hospitals in England between 2012 and 2019 and compared manager numbers with how well budgets were controlled and how quickly patients got treated. On average, the hospital trust spent nearly 10 million a year on managers, some had more than 500. It is definitely arguable that they are overpaid. NHS runs on magic, says C122, H122. To be honest, I quite like the term pen push as an insult. Going to call my bosses that in the future, says Use of Weapons. Band Slam. Jock faces French and US Open acts. 3-year Australia Exile 2, but Wimbledon will be okay, yeah. The NHS should bing the 6-figure salaries. I fully agree with that, Gonzo Socialism. On page 21, Flaming Nightmares. Horses leap through flames in an ancient purification ceremony. About 100 took part in the nighttime Spanish festival held on the eve of St. Anthony's Day, the country's patron saint of animals. It's been called cruel, but organisers of San Bartholomew de Pinares say the horse's hair is cut to avoid burns. I've got to be honest, it looks pretty fucked up. Gonzo Socialism, NHS managers are more about PR than making the service function. Yeah, the point is, there are a lot of managers that could go, but the notion that you can just run a service without managers is kind of crazy, isn't it? Gunman killed in US siege. Synagogue fiend is the way the Sun describes him. Dodged Brit cops. Police tried to find a Brit weeks before he was shot dead after taking 4 people hostage. at a Texan synagogue. 2 officers visited a rented flat where a brother of Malik Faisal Akram previously lived, but they were told Akram was not there and that his brother had moved to Pakistan. In March 2020's lockdown, a neighbour in Blackburn, Lancashire, said about 3 or 4 weeks ago, 2 detectives knocked at the door asking for Malik. They didn't say what they needed him for, but needed to speak. Akram, 44, was shot dead by a SWAT team on Saturday after taking 4 hostages in a 12-hour siege in Colleyville, Texas. He had flown to New York on December 29th and told authorities he'd been staying at the Queen's Hotel, but he travelled to Texas and spent several days at a Christian-run shelter before buying a gun. During the siege, Akram demanded the release of terrorist Aifa Siddiqui, dubbed Lady Al-Qaeda, after she was convicted of trying to kill US military personnel in Afghanistan. Questions remain over what spooks knew about Akram. I expect they knew quite a bit. They normally do. Gonzo Socialism. Post-Naylor review, the NHS managers are about helping chop the service into parts and looking after their own jobs. Yeah, well, this is the thing, isn't it? I mean, the constant restructuring of the NHS has just led to that. Use of weapons. How does someone known to MI5 fly to New York City, then on to Texas, buy a gun, and then take several hostages? All very valid questions. Use of weapons. Catholicism and animal cruelty must be Spain. Hey, SK, how you doing? Good to see you. Robbie Williams is planning a huge live comeback tour. There's a dog who's scared of cats. This dog is scared of these cats, apparently. The Burnside, do they expect the NHS only to be made up of doctors and nurses? Apparently so. Tonga Brit's body found. Horrible story, that. A Tesla driver in a traffic jam was spotted watching porn on his dashboard console screen. His X-rated images could be seen through the £75,000 electric car's rear window in the morning rush hour. Dan Kitchener, who was in the vehicle behind the Tesla S, said, "At first I thought he was looking through a catalogue. It was a stop-start traffic, a maximum about 5 miles an hour in short bursts. But I briefly thought to myself, well, that's naughty while he's driving." Yeah, whoopie did. It doesn't even say where in the world this is. Addington, South London. One post suggested he should have pulled over on the hard shoulder. Another pointed out they're only moving in spurts, and a third joked, "Oh no, he's got a crack on his screen." Robbie Williams, his use of weapons. The times between Robbie Williams' comeback tours shrink every time. C122, H122 says Tesla are not cars. Use of weapons. Robin Williams is dead, I'm pretty sure. No, yes, Robbie Williams. Yeah, I know where Addington is. I used to live near Croydon. I used to live in Addiscombe in Croydon. Chronotherm, no info on the porn he was watching, not news. Yeah, no, we need details. There's a new book and film about an investigation into who betrayed Anne Frank and the rest of her family to the Nazis. The claim is that it was a guy called Arnold van den Berg, a member of the Amsterdam Jewish Council, which the Nazis forced them to form, and it said that he is claimed to have betrayed other Jews to save his family. It is also said that Otto Frank suspected that it was this guy, but didn't want his name released during the time that he was alive because he didn't want things to happen to this guy's family. I'm not clear on whether he's got any surviving relatives. Mick is in the Islington muesli eating elite. Yes, granola eating elite, that's me. All the way over here in the most easterly part of Islington, Norwich. Yeah. In the TV reviews, Bradley and Barney Walsh Breaking Dad gets reviewed. They like that. Today's recommendations in the TV, 24 Hours on A&E, 9 p.m. Winter Watch, 8 p.m. BBC Two. Ghislaine, Prince Andrew and the Paedophile, 9 p.m. on ITV. And This World, Why Ships Crash, 9 p.m. BBC Two. Martin Luther King and Anne Frank were born the same year. Time has no meaning, says C122. Yeah. Use of weapons says anything south of Watford is just London. Enough of this. Right, let's look at Dear Deirdre today. I badly reacted when she asked for space. Bin yourself. Married lover is like clockwork. Affairs are meant to be exciting, but my love life is painfully predictable. Bin yourself. So guilty I miss wife's cancer. I feel so bad for not spotting my wife's cancer after my years as a registered nurse. A man of 72. She was 69 when she died suddenly after a short illness. She had a pain in her back, and I thought it was slip disc. Oh, you shouldn't blame yourself. That's horrible. Falsely accused of being a violent mum, I was accused of being a violent drunk, and now my partner has been denied access to his 10-year-old daughter by his ex. Well, that's horrendous, but I would suggest, the Sun aren't going to give you a solution to that. And despite having almost £1 million in the bank, my partner lives in squalor. We've been dating for 7 years and are both 43. I live alone in rented accommodation, struggle to pay the bills. I work part-time in a pharmacy. His own clothing business, and it's his life. He works all hours, comes home at unsociable hours, sleeps and rarely has time for me. I spend my free time cooking so he has food to heat up. His house is a mess. He's scruffy and doesn't look after himself. I've given up so much to be with him. Bin him. Dan Jones with the real title of that ITV show, The Paedophile, and the Paedophile. Fab Daily, I never say no to my kids. Mama 3 Bieber lets her kids eat mac and cheese for breakfast and watch YouTube all day. Here she tells Josie Griffiths why. Strict parents only make kids more likely to rebel while out of sight is her claim. Just whatever. Our council house is now a stately home, writes one woman. She's redecorated her house, basically. I don't know why that's a feature. They're trying to sell you a cherry tree. They're trying to sell you a cordless chainsaw. Mom of the Year, C122H122. And on the back page, flog, marry, avoid. Ripping the Arsenal out of it. Now Pablo sent on loan and Cup semi is in doubt. Pog's off the leash. Paul Pogba was back in training yesterday as he edges closer to fitness. Kids do need some boundaries. Yeah, kids do. Without them, it's very hard to, You've got to have conversations with kids and explain to them why certain rules are certain rules. But just allowing them to do whatever they want is not it's not a wise way of living. I can't believe I need to say that. I think that's sort of self-evident. There should be more 90s Pogs in football. That means no offers in the transfer window for Pogba, says Gonzo Socialism. Right. Give me your scores for the Sun, if you want. Next up, we're going to be doing the Telegraph, which means some flailing for flailing fan Slinkermeyer. And I'm going to attempt to get through the Telegraph in 1 minute 30, which I think is
impossible.
It's never been done. I've got through other papers in 1 minute 30, but this could be a challenge. No boundaries in childhood leads to Joss Whedon, according to that interview you gave. That is a fucked up interview. Triple negative nice from the Burnzoid. Triple negative nice from use of weapons. Mark Kenosis, I disagree. Kids need to learn for themselves which liquids are poisonous. Gonzo Socialism, negative nice hippo dolls. The Aorist, minus infinity for the Sun. Slinkermeyer says, it's been a while since she's seen a good flail. Well, here it goes. 1 minute 30. I'll put that up on the screen. Thank you for redeeming Hydrate. C122, H122. I'm glad you believe in me. It's nice to know that someone does. Right. And hang on. And we're off. Front page of the Daily Telegraph. Does Harry just want to come home? Celia Walden reads between the lines. She's married to Piers Morgan. She can't read anything. Charles Moore. The BBC has acted like a left-wing Fox News. Really? Fraser Nelson, how COVID kills off politicians' chance of re-election. Anne Frank, untold story of how her betrayer was tracked down. William Sitwell, why it's all over for British restaurants. Nadine Dorris, just smiling and being pleased with herself. Tougher powers for magistrates to clear trial backlog. Lawyers say that will not work. Inside, while the nation was watching Netflix in lockdown, one man was reaching for the sky. Father hopes that after starting in his shed, his 2-year obsession will soon fly for all the family. He's building a plane in his shed. Starmer refuses to apologise for having beer in the office. It was a ridiculous story. US officials dropped the ball over jihadists. That's our spooks trying to shift the blame. Soldiers to be decorated for Afghanistan rescue mission. Jesus Christ. License to reform could end prosecutions. Tim Stanley, People's Secretary for Culture, as MP seeing red over the BBC People's Secretary. Fuck off. UK woman dies trying to rescue dogs from tsunami. That is a really sad story. Djokovic back home and his sponsors already want a word. In the comments section, Tom Harry says self-righteous Starmer is stuck in a trap of his own making. The starry woman of Whitehall, Cheryl Jacobs, says Boris Johnson has to prove there's still a point to the Tory party. There is no point to the Tory party except the enrichment of itself. How to sell the BBC to young people, writes Gordon Rayner, basically says that the young people don't care about it. And the curse of coronavirus. Right, there you go. That is the Telegraph in 1 minute 30. Mark Kenosis says, someday soon, Nadine Dorries is going to develop some object permanence, and then it's over for us bitches. Use weapons. The Grand reporting that Boris categorically denies he was warned that parties would break lockdown rules. How will he wiggle out of this one? I refuse to believe anyone who knows Morgan can read. How dare you? The Wicker Man was Scottish. I know Lord Summerall was English. Yeah, someday. Yeah, okay. Right. That was the Telegraph. What I did miss in the 1 minute 30 was, were there any good obituaries? The answer is no, and they quite like Idols. I've got no time for Idols, the band, to be honest. Right, Tory party are just criminals to C122, H122. Give me your scores for the Telegraph if you want. Minus 69 beads of sweat on Cheryl Jacobs' forehead as she walks through the airport wearing sunglasses, says Mark Kenosis. Minus 69, get Dorries in the sea, says Gonzo Socialism. Right, front page of the Times. Who Betrayed Anne Frank by Daniel Finkelstein. Pandemic boozers. What happened to our drinking in lockdown? It went up. Idols are fucking terrible, says Mark Kenosis. Movember the band. Yeah, exactly. It's their pretense of being like these. Oh god, they just think they're. It's okay to talk, lads. Yes, Mark Kenosis. Yeah, they're Milo from Trash Future's Prince Harry impression as a band. Anton Newcombe was been arguing on Twitter with someone about Idols earlier. Please say he was anti-Idols. The ARS says, Telegraph, minus 90 seconds of my life. I can only apologise. Right, elsewhere on the front page of the Times, Javid plans NHS revolution modelled on academy schools. Oh, brilliant. That'll be great then. Chronothum says Mark Kenosis' description of Idols as Movember the band is 100% accurate and the most damage I've seen done to them. Main story from the Times, Cummings, PM lied to Parliament about party. Yes, that is the Times getting its main story from a Substack newsletter. We can but hope that one of my newsletters ends up on the front page of the Times at some point. Guessing Finkelstein blames Corbyn. He does not. It's actually quite a good article, to be fair. On the right-hand side of the front page, magistrates get power to jail offenders for a year. It's not going to do anything right. Don't get me wrong, I probably hate all the bands you like too, Mick. Probably. What bands? Start guessing bands that I like, and I'll tell you if I do. On page 3, swine fever puts truffles in trouble. Disease in Italy's wild boars has closed woodland and left global supplies at risk. No, not our global supplies of truffles. DNA testing will decide if huge potato smashes the world record. Couple who dug up a potato in their vegetable patch that weighed more than twice as much as the average newborn baby. That's how you measure the weight of potatoes now.
7.7 ounces.
Was sure it was a shoo-in to break the world record. However, first a chunk of the massive vegetable, which was grown in New Zealand, has to be sent for DNA testing in Scotland to prove it really is a potato. I am not a big Limp Bizkit fan. I do not like Black Country New Road. I do like Wire. I do like The Fall. I don't like Dry Cleaning. Use of weapons. Under communism, all newspapers in Britain will be replaced with mixed newsletter. Broken bottles keep Pravda. I'm into it. Sounds good. On page 4, prisoner numbers will rocket under Raab's court backlog plan. Not a plan from Silver Jews. I do like the Silver Jews. British charity worker swept to her death in Tonga tsunami. It's really sad. Man is held for threats to kill after missing teenager found. Good that she's found. Lampard escapes charge of driving while on the phone despite cyclist video. That's because he hired Nick Freeman, known as Mr. Loophole, to help him out. Mark Kanosis, I don't like the dry cleaning record because I don't believe middle class people have interiority. The Beta Band, yes, I will now sell 5 copies of the 3 EPs by the Beta Band. Downing Street turmoil intensifies as 2 ministers speak out. That was me doing the Downing Street turmoil intensifying. Do you see it again? Look at it intensifying. Dorries backtracks from threat to ditch licence fee. Patel, expect more foreign interference. Boards of Canada, I do like Boards of Canada. Mixing stuff you wouldn't have heard of. They're from Canada. I mean, lots of stuff. Navy drops illegal migrant pushback. Quentin Letts, red is just a... Fuck Quentin Letts. I can't be bothered with him today. Harry cannot just buy police protection, say former guards. They're still on that story. Students bet on credit and blow their loans in gambling epidemic. The gambling industry is a scourge. The Times could go fuck itself because its sister paper, The Sun, pushes gambling at all times. Gonzo Socialism says that I listen exclusively to Steps and Take That. Is that true, person in the room?
What's that?
That I exclusively listen to Steps and Take That.
It's true.
Yeah, there we go. Various people who know Prince Andrew claim that he was romantically involved with Ghislaine Maxwell. I wouldn't be surprised. End of the pandemic is in sight for Britain, but it'll be bumpy. Fauci in line of fire if Republicans control Congress. Front page of the Times too. Who betrayed Anne Frank? And you search for answers 80 years on. Has Patel got another trip to Israel planned? You can only imagine. Given Patel's record, she'll be the one delivering the foreign interference. Yeah. Mark Kanosis doesn't like Boards of Canada, but I do like that their presence on the VVM Christmas 7-inch meant I could sell it for 50 quid. Okay. Some Peaky legwork. Tommy Razorblade, blah, blah, blah. Peaky Blinders is moving into the dance world. The creators of the television series about Birmingham gangsters have teamed up with a Rambert dance company for a touring production that will explain the backstory of the show's characters. No, this is a bad idea because there's already too many men who have got that haircut. Is it true you have a big poster of H from Steps in your bedroom? Yeah. Just fully on the ceiling. British anti-tank missiles have been sent to defend Ukraine. Really. One of Britain's biggest insurers has banned the words energetic and enthusiastic from its job adverts because they say it deters older applicants. Yes, and the miserable, like me. Burnzoid loves Boards of Canada, still waiting for that new album. Mark Kanosis says, just watch the Weather Channel. Banker likened to trans TV star loses claim. A banking executive who claimed sex discrimination after colleagues compared him to a celebrity renowned for her cosmetic surgeries lost the case. Christopher Drake, a vice president of Credit Suisse, is a victim of systematic bullying. Over comments in a WhatsApp group, colleagues likened him to Jessica Alves, a former Celebrity Big Brother contestant. However, an East London Employment Tribunal ruled that Drake had submitted his claim too late, noting he'd waited from February to November 2020 before doing so. He also allegedly posted similar banter himself. Drake attributed this delay to depression caused by jokes about his sexuality. Alves, 38, spent £750,000, more than 100 cosmetic surgery procedures, and in January 2020 said that she was transitioning her gender. She was expelled from the reality show in 2018 after using the N-word when describing her favoured sexual partners. Jesus Christ. Gun student guilty of stabbing lecturers. A teenager is pleaded guilty to stabbing 2 teachers as he stalked the grounds of his college, wearing a black mask and armed with a knife and an imitation gun. We come back to the continuing problem of massive underfunding of mental health care in this country. Take That's Do What You Like as a high energy banger. One of the says Mark Kanosis. Yes, and the video where one of them has a jelly number 2 on his chest. Subtle. Yeah, with a women brushing jelly out of their bums. Boards of Canada is the Belle and Sebastian of electronic music, says Mark Gnosis. I was in a cafe the other day and they started playing Belle and Sebastian, and I really thought I'd gone back in time. Right, in the comments section, William Hay, Johnson needs to work fast to save himself. Or he could simply not. Melanie Phillips says the BBC and NHS sacred cows need to change. Like overindulged twins, these two great national institutions have escaped scrutiny for too long. Melanie Phillips has escaped scrutiny for too long. Melanie Phillips, the anti-vaxxer. Melanie Phillips, Anders Breivik's favourite columnist. Giles Coroner's a piece of shit. I've got a new newsletter coming out soon about his latest proof that he is. Hugo Rifkin says burning money is a funny way to go green. He's saying that we should concentrate on insulating Britain. Presumably the Times will be calling him an extremist for that soon. And in the birthdays today, Richard Dunwoody, the 3-time champion jockey and Grand National winner, is 58. Chief Emeka Anyoku, General Secretary of the Commonwealth till 2000, is 89. Lionel Barber, former editor of the Financial Times, is 67. Sir John Borman, the film director, is 89. Raymond Briggs, the writer and illustrator, is 88. Dame Alison Carnworth, the chairwoman of Land Securities in 2018, is 69. Nice. Air Vice Marshal Nigel Coleman, the commander of the Joint Helicopters Command, is 51. Alexis Conran, the actor, writer and broadcaster for Times Radio, is 50. Kevin Costner, the actor and director, is 67. Lord Paul Dayton, the chairman of Heathrow Airport Holdings and the Economist Group, is 66. Estelle, the singer, is 42. Christian Fittipaldi, the racing driver, is 51. Sir Rocco Forti, the hotelier, is 77. Sir Richard Friend, physicist and engineer, is 69. Nice. Pep Guardiola, the footballer and Manchester City manager, is 51. Lord Terence Higgins, Commonwealth Games silver medalist and Conservative MP, until 1997, is 94. Jane Horrocks, the actress, is 58. Lord David Howell of Guildford, President of the Royal Commonwealth Society till 2020, is 86. Paul Keating, Prime Minister for Australia till 1996, is 78. Angelique Kerber, the tennis player, ranked world number 20. Wimbledon women's singles winner in 2018, is 34. Takeshi Kitano, the film director and actor, is 75. Happy birthday to him. Sir Alan Reid, the chairman of the Duchy of Lancaster, keeper of the Privy Purse and treasurer to the Queen until 2017, is 75. Sir Mark Rylance, the actor, is 62. Jason Segel, the actor, is 42. Lady Sasha Swire, journalist, Diary of an MP's wife, 2020, is 59. Leo Varadkar, the cineast and leader of Fine Gael TD for Dublin West and Taoiseach until 2020, soon to be Taoiseach again, is 43. And Sir Clive Whitmore, Principal Private Secretary to Margaret Thatcher until 1982, is 87. On this date, in 1593, King Naresuan of Siam killed Crown Prince Mingi Swa of Burma in an elephant duel, according to tradition. Royal Thai Armed Forces Day marks this victory. The last word comes from Isabel Allende, the Chilean novelist, in Aphrodite 1997. I repent of my diets, the delicious dishes rejected out of vanity. Happy birthday to Raymond Briggs. Anders Breivik had a bail hearing and did Nazi salute as he brought into court. He'll have a spike column by 2024. Melanie Phillips says Ireland should have statehood. I hate her. Shouldn't have statehood. I was about to say that was a weird. Universal credit can fuck off. Boo Pep the Bald fraud says use of weapons. Yeah, the bail. Hello, person in the room. So Takeshi Kitano made a video game, and it is supposed to be one of the most infuriating ever made. Nice. What's it about? Elephant duels sound cool as fuck. They do, don't they? Taliban pepper spray women as they march for their freedoms. Jesus. China's population growth slowest since Great Famine is the claim. US nuclear sub is warning to Kim to end missile tests. Yeah, that'll work. Zemmour fined for calling young migrants rapists and murderers. Eric Zemmour, regularly mentioned in The Spectator in glowing terms. Yeah, total lack of coins today, but they may appear. Pirate of the Pacific could not save his dachshund. It was built in Glasgow, captured by Germany during the First World War and sent to the South Pacific to hunt Allied vessels as one of the last sail-powered warships before smashing into a reef and meeting an ignominious end. Now, more than 100 years later, the remains of the Seedler have been located by German divers across the Mopelia Atoll, almost 300 miles west of Tahiti in French Polynesia. Originally named the Pass of Balmaha, the ship was captured by a German U-boat in 1915 and chosen as a raider because it was able to disguise itself as a Norwegian wood carrier and would not need to stop for coal. Engineers fitted it with a secret auxiliary diesel engine and 2 bow cannon were concealed under huts on the deck. So there we go. That's the story about that. Takeshi's Game. I won't do that name justice. C122 H122 wants coins. In the obituaries today, Peter Seabrook, horticultural writer and Gardener's World presenter who called a spade and delighted visitors to Chelsea with displays. Called a spade a spade.
Jesus, I don't like to call a spade anymore.
Nino Cerruti, suave Italian designer of men's chic, who dressed a host of film stars and whose protege, Giorgio Armani, became a rival, has died, was 91. Barry Stacey, maverick theatrical agent, usually means they were drunk or racist or both. Maverick theatrical agent, self-styled sandwich maker to the stars and author of the worst showbiz memoir ever written, has died. He was 95. Why was his book so bad? In 1987, he self-published what was generally considered to be one of the worst showbiz biographies ever written. A Ticket to the Carnival, a mishmash of name-dropping, I once saw Becky Grable in the street, and camp banter, which was panned by critics. The normally restrained trade paper, The Stage, described the book as one that once you put down, you can't pick up. Undeterred, Stacey began writing a sequel. To his credit, he did successfully tour his old mentor, Quentin Crisp, for several years in a one-man show. No one doubted his indefatigable energy and optimism, but even his closest friends were aghast when in 2001 he had plans to tour Mad Frankie Fraser's one-man show, which he'd run in London under another management. Former gangster who'd spent more than 40 years in prison was summoned to Stacey's office and offered cheese and wine and contract terms. Confronted by the eccentric Stacey, Mad Frankie seemed startled. "You see, dear," said Stacey, "what we need with this show is a bit of camp. That's what theatre's all about, Frank. Pure camp." Fraser left the room stone-faced. "Can't understand it," said Stacey. "Most people love working for me." C122 wants coins. Use of weapons. We all want coins. Me too, I want coins. C122, H122 are drunk racists then. These days, if you call a spade, you're arrested and thrown in jail. Don't most gardeners use trowels anyway, says the Burnsoid. Yeah, good point. In the sport, Brentford in first move to sign Eriksen. Christian Eriksen has held talks over a remarkable return to English football 6 months after he suffered a cardiac arrest at the European Championship. The West London club have offered the Denmark midfielder a 6-month contract with the option of a further season, but fear that their pursuit could be hijacked. Djokovic now faces Paris ban and England weigh up Bailey call. Yeah, give me... I would absolutely go to Mad Frankie Fraser's one-man show. Me too. Give me your scores for the Times as I do the roll call and we move on to the Daily Mail, our final paper of the day. Mad Frankie Fraser's one-man show. Mark Canosa says he tortures an informant on stage. Use of weapons, hates Brentford. Right, let's do the roll call. I'm the Broken Bottle Boy. Follow me on Twitter at Broken Bottle Boy. Also in the chat today, in the mod squad, it's SK the Crusader. Do obviously follow him here if you're not, and check out what he's got on stream this week by heading to his Twitter account and looking at his pinned post. In the chat today, Apple Pie Chart, Arid Tracks, Bear Pavlova, C122, H122, Commander Root, Dan Jones 3142, Arabs, Gethin Win Jones, Gledster, Gonzo Socialism, Heathmore 2401, Caxips 06, Kijov 02, hey man, how you doing? Chronotherm, Lana Ray, Mark Canosis, Mercutio UK, Mystic Blue 35, Rachology, Rick James Mujahideen, Rimastino, Solinka Meyer, 1727, Spike Trap Claire, Super Gladio World, The Burnzoid, The Airist, Use of Weapons, and V&K. Hello to you all. Hope you are having a passable Tuesday. SK has a lot on this week. Chronotherm says Use of Weapons is hatred of Brentford is their worst take. Mark Canosis whispers to date. That's the whispers to date. That's the broken bottle boy. Use of Weapons. The amount of beers I'll drink minus the amount of beers I'll drink when Melanie Phillips dies for the time. Burnzoid. She won't die. She'll just go back to the depths of hell where she originally came from. Just spitting facts today. Alright, here we go. It's the Daily Mail, front page of the Daily Mail. Why do doctors know so little about natural HRT that can stop menopause wrecking your life? I'm going to say misogyny and the patriarchy. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
I just heard HRT and,
You
my
were drawn to it.
perimenopausal magnetism.
Main story. British troops sent to Ukraine. Fears Russian invasion just days away. Defence Secretary warns a very, very bloody war. He's warning that while trying to staunch his erection. UK's high-tech weapons could target Putin's tanks and aircraft. Really. Now Meghan complains to BBC over Amal Rajan's Royals podcast. Inside Cummings, PM knew about party and I'd swear to it under oath. Okay. On page 3, now that's an old master. How care home transformed its residents into works of art. On page 4, the fire and forget tank buster Britain is sending. Oh god, the Daily Mail loves stuff like this. Little fact box about the the AT4 anti-tank weapon. It can blast through armour up to 460 millimeters thick and weighs just 9 kilograms. Costs £1,200 and is easy to use. It's like this. It's like a little sales pitch. Mercutio UK could target them, but will probably just self-destruct. High tech. We can't design a tank that doesn't deafen the people inside it, or cause them to just be constantly sick. Foul. Fury as Lampard escapes scot-free despite being filmed at the wheel, holding phone and a coffee. Ex-footballer from another angle. It's a loop because he's got a lawyer who specialises in loopholes. Henry Deeds accuses anyone who is annoyed about Nadine Dorries of sounding like pigs squealing at a farm. Henry Deeds has only got his job because he's from a family of journalists. On page 9, Britain who died trying to save her dogs from tsunami. That's a horrible story. How one care home transformed its residents into works of art with the help of Dr. Gunther von Hagens. Chronotherm, when it says transform into works of art, did they kill the OAPs to put them into statues? No, they just photoshopped them into famous pictures. Revealed Starmer broke rules on campaigners meeting during election. It's the Daily Mail, still desperately trying to make this story work. And former Labour MP and Telegraph and Daily Mail stooge Tom Harris writes, the self-appointed witchfinder general of COVID parties must now apologise. Oh, fuck off, Tom. On page 13, now Meghan complains after BBC's Rajan said she misled court. She basically just wanted a correction to say she didn't deliberately mislead the court. Gonzo Socialism, UK outsourced its nuclear capability to Serco. It's like sending an action man into war. Terror probe, past of synagogue gunman. I threw a chair at him and we ran. Rabbi in heroic escape from the siege. David Elstein, the former boss of Channel 5, says, instead of wailing, BBC bosses should embrace the death of the licence fee. It would set Auntie free to prosper. I fucking hate when they call the BBC aunties. Fucking bullshit. Jean-Christophe Novelli says, film that serves up the unpalatable truth behind your restaurant dinner by a celebrity chef who says that being punched by a woman guest was just an occupational hazard. And they use a byline picture of Jean-Christophe Novelli from, swear to God, about 30 years ago. Okay, moving on. Richard Littlejohn. Just, it's awful. I cannot even. On page 21, you must be in your menopause, boss yelled at worker 52. Woman's victory at tribunal after male shop owner's jibe. Good. I never understood the whole auntie thing. It's weirdly twee. It's they only call the BBC auntie because they don't want to fuck her. That's a good reference to the Rupert Grint thing. Damaged smell makes children fussy eaters. COVID could be turning children into fussy eaters because it damages their sense of smell, experts have warned, and the Daily Mail loves a scare story. Why we're wild for wallpaper again. After decades of bland painted walls, gloriously exuberant prints are back, says Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen.
Who conveniently has a line of wallpapers.
Yeah. Rick James Mujahideen says that Richard Littlejohn is his second favourite Little John. Yeah, by a vast gap between them. Kidnap body hunt at farmhouse stalls. Delays add to agony for family of mother who was killed after she was mistaken for Rupert Murdoch's wife. That story goes on. Has an ex-FBI cold case detective solved the 78-year mystery of who betrayed Anne Frank? The answer is not really. They've got a theory. His team of 23 experts with a cutting-edge computer program. Daily Mail, again, it's like reading something from the 70s. The Heirist with Richard Littlejohn's next column. Why oh why am I wanking myself into a frenzied rage? Paying more to NHS bosses does not boost quality of hospitals, is Daily Mail's coverage of that story. January 18th, 2022, from the Daily Mail archive in 1990 on this day. The man who axed Are You Being Served and other much-loved BBC comedies explained yesterday what was wrong with Mrs. Slocum and co. It was smutty, sexist, end-of-the-pier stuff, said Gareth Gwenian, who was retired after 6 years as the corporation's head of comedy. January 18th, 1997, the controversial £700 million Millennium Exhibition to mark the year 2000 was saved last night in an 11th hour deal agreed by Labour and the Government National Heritage Secretary Virginia Bottomley will confirm the go-ahead to build a massive dome at Greenwich in a statement revealing that Labour has won the case for a review of the project if Tony Blair wins the election. He did. They went on to do it. It was a ridiculous series of things. Listen to the 2-part episode from Trash Feature about the Millennium Dome because it's very good. Happy birthday to Sasha Swire, who's 59, Adele, who's 42. Born on this day in 1941, David Ruffin, he died in 1991. He was the founder of The Temptations and performed lead vocals on Motown classics, including My Girl. He was named as one of the greatest singers of all time by Rolling Stone magazine. Marvin Gaye said, I heard in his voice a strength my own voice lacked. His brother Jimmy Ruffin had hits with What Becomes of the Broken Hearted and Hold On to My Love. Peter Roget, 1779 to 1869, doctor and inventor from London, made his name with the thesaurus of English words and phrases, which was published in 1852 and has never been out of print. The original contained 15,000 words, while today's version has 250,000. He also invented a slide rule to calculate the roots and powers of numbers. On January 18th, in 1963, Labour leader Hugh Gaitskell died aged 56. He was succeeded by Harold Wilson. And in 1979, Terry Wogan hosted the first episode of the BBC's Blankety Blank, Blankety Blank, Blankety Blank. Quote for today, the future's so bright, I gotta wear shades. Pat McDonald, the US songwriter. That's a lyric. Joke of the day. Why did the octopus beat the shark in a fight? It was well owned. It was well armed. It was well armed. Dan Jones, 3142 says, my favourite Little John is Australian darts player Rowby John Rodriguez. The Burnzoid. It's the Excel spreadsheet equivalent of pinboard and red string. Chronotherm. Cutting edge technology like reading bits of old paper. The dome was subpar, says SK. The Heirist. Long 2012. Yeah, pretty much. Right. In the health thing. Why do doctors know so little about the natural HR that can stop the menopause wrecking your life? So much received wisdom about HRT is outdated, argues the author of an important new book. Here she says, there is a treatment that avoids the risk, but barely anyone knows it exists.
Oh, what was it?
I'm looking, I don't see it.
She could be onto something. This could be the biggest thing in the world, and
It's just HRT.
but everyone knows about it.
Every form of
interest.
every
here.
form of HRT is not the same.
Oh, it's okay. We'll read it
You can read it
afterwards.
later.
Yeah.
C122H122. I'm pro Dome. Dome all of the UK. Joke was not funny.
Center parks.
The Airist. Why did the octopus beat the shark in a fight? The shark knows why. Chronotherm. Is the treatment colloidal silver? I don't know. Are the new postbiotic pills the real key to better gut health? I don't know, maybe. Can't dome the UK. How else can right-wingers chuck out people? Yeah. That's acne drug drove our daughter to suicide. There's been a lot of that stuff around those acne drugs. It's a long and ongoing scandal. Can't get the pages. Right. Warning. Hey, First07, wave to you, hello. Pick of the day, Winter Watch, 8 p.m, BBC 2, in the TV reviews. Christopher Stevens says, Keeping Up with the Aristocrats was a 4-star show. Geordie Hospitals, also a 4-star show. In the cartoons today, Garfield is eating a massive ice cream in Chloe and Co. Chloe's hanging out with a man. The man says, I'm enjoying my lunch with you, Chloe. Me too, but I should be... long lunch with you, Chloe. Me too, but I should be back by 5:30. Why? That's when I finish work. Oh, God. Fred Bassett was having a sleep, and then his owner comes down to get a midnight snack and wakes him up. Colloidal silver is a thing libertarians take, which turns their skin blue. Oh, yeah, it's in a lot of their mad supplements. Today's poem, New Beginnings. I'm bringing the scales out of... here we go, it's 2 poems. This is the first. They're both awful. I'm bringing the scales out of hiding. It's something I do every year. I'll have to blow off the dust, of course, and hope that the readings are clear. I'll start it tomorrow like most of us do. I'll stand on the scales with one leg, then gradually place the other one on, still hoping that it can be read. It's not easy to read wearing glasses, because I find it's not very clear. Shall I bend down and keep myself steady? Yes, I think that's a better idea. I'm looking and trying to focus. Another dial has come into view. It's come as a shock to see what it says. I'll have to diet now, wouldn't you? I now have to slim and stay healthy and hopefully get fit and trim. I'll be walking the dog with a spring in my step, though you won't see me down at the gym. That's Liz Redstone of Winchfield Hants. Stop it. Is Winter Watch Badger Watch with dandruff, pretty much. Burnzoid, isn't there a bunch of people trying to do DIY fecal transplants because they can improve gut health? Apparently so. Limerick, an England supporter declares our worst Ashes clash for some years. Our hopes tossed asunder, bowled over, down under. I'm stumped and run out of ideas. Oh, God. Right. And from bad to worse, time for the straight to the point letters. Graham Marsh of Stockport says, it's a sackable offence to drink alcohol at my workplace. What message is the civil service sending out to the public? I know that's more of a... To be honest, that's more of a Yorkshire accent, but you get what you get. Steph Wilson says, it astounds me that supposedly intelligent people are so arrogant when they think they are entitled to fill out the rules and so stupid to believe no one will find out. Dennis Fitzgerald says, don't do what I do. I mean, don't say what I do. Did I go to a party? No, it was a work activity with alcohol. Now the party wants to talk to me about a party. Fucking hell. Just WhatsApp your friends, if you have any. Jay Wilson says, an onion has been developed that doesn't make you cry until you see the price. B. Channing says, Liverpool footballer Mohamed Salah says he is not asking for crazy stuff. He's paid £200,000 a week. That's crazy. Stephen Gerrard, not that one, says, Marks and Spencer's new name for midget gems should be woke drops. Oh, fucking hell. This is just a sweet, mate. Ian Cranston says, I don't agree with the BBC's latest cost-saving initiative. It's replacing Radio 4's Today programme with a broken record. Ben Higgs says, it's a pity the Aussies didn't ban our cricket team from entering the country. It would have saved us a lot of embarrassment. And Ian Merrick says, yes, my dogs understand 89 words, but only respond to 2. Food and walkies. Oi. Kitty92 says, in fairness, the limerick was alright. Impressive amount of cricket terms shoehorned in. Slinkermeyer, fat phobia in a poem form. Ugh. C122H122, I hate the written word. I hate this poem. The Heiress says you should do Viz. Often do, we do magazines on Friday special. I just dropped the microphone, that's good. Apologies for that. Friday special magazines, we could do Viz. Duckworth Lewis and Rain Dance can be introduced into England training regime, says Gonzo Socialism. Today's recipe, hummus and tomatoes on toast. That's hardly a fucking recipe, is it? Right, coins! Coins. Yeah, secure the brand new 2020 UK Platinum Jubilee Gold Sovereign today. Yours today. Featuring a unique 1 year only design. Yours for just £329. £329. Yeah, or you could get woolen silk trousers in indigo, tan, sand, and grey. Really, really a style sensation. Coins. Looking for a good time. That was Coins news. Now, finally, in the sport, booze culture on Ashes tour. England coaches drinking as heavily as players on disastrous trip. Return of tour curfews now likely. Ericsson offered deal by Brentford, and Wimbledon looks like final hope for Novak. £95. No, £395. £295. Sorry for the for that coin. 2022 UK Platinum 329. Oh. All right, so that was the Daily Mail. Give me your scores. What would you say? Would you say, like me, a quadruple negative nice? Because I would. By the way, thank you to Outwith for following the channel. Yes, an expensive coin. It's a platinum piece of shit. Right, so thank you for joining me today on the Tuesday episode of the paper thing. I'm wishing the day away. The trousers were £95. Yeah, I know. It's because these adverts are just for fooling aging Daily Mail readers. Burnsoy says, centuple negative nice for the Daily Mail. A quadruple negative nice from Slinkermeyer. Minus coins, says the Heiress. And minus negative nice. Nadine Dorries armpit sweats. Ugh, says Gonzo Socialism. Thank you very much for joining me today. I will be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. In the meantime, if you're watching this on YouTube, it goes up on YouTube every day. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe. Really appreciate it. Sharing it is good as well. Any of that stuff. Love it. Alright, I will see you all tomorrow at 1 p.m. And in the meantime, you can find me on Twitter at Broken Bottle Boy. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.